Golf Central on YouTube is brought to you by the new Paradigm Woods and Irons from Callaway.
Nothing quite like it. The WM Phoenix Open. Its designated massive purse. 8 of the top 10 of the world are here. A couple of Canadiens running out front. Arizona home to tens of thousands of Canadian snowbirds, and a couple sitting right there at 5 under par. George Knudson, the only Canadian to have won this event. That was 1968 at Phoenix Country Club. Xander, so good here. 3rd, 2nd the last 2 years. Jim Herman now outside the top 600 in the world. How about Rory McIlroy? U.S. debut in 2023, world number 1. Didn't have his best stuff. Had what he called a two-way miss going in his victory at the DP World Tour in Dubai a couple of weeks ago. Able to get through it all. Not today, only 4 fairways, struggled off the tee. Here's Rory after round 1.
You know, I'm not in the crowd and I'm not whatever, but I think if I wasn't a player and I wanted to come to one PGA Tour event, this would probably be the one that I'd want to come to. So I was joking to Harry out there today. It's like almost you get 2 free rounds at this because you can go out and just completely wing it, either shoot 63 or 80. And you know you're going to have a good weekend regardless. You either have a chance to win the tournament or you go and enjoy everything that this tournament has to offer if you don't make the cut.
Are there benefits to kind of being forced into playing an event that you traditionally haven't chosen to play?
Yeah, I get a chance to win $3.6 million. Yeah, look, I wouldn't say that this is a golf course that sets up terribly well for me. I struggle off the tee here. I feel like all the fairway bunkers are right in my landing zone. So, but it's a challenge, you know, and I'm trying to embrace that challenge. And yeah, look, not an event I historically play, but I mean, I feel like I'm a good enough player to figure it out and contend and win on any golf course.
Rich Lerner joined by Paige McKenzie. So what'd you see in round 1, and how likely is it that he will figure it out?
Yeah, I mean, he kind of summed it up right there. He struggles off the tee here. It doesn't suit his eye. It doesn't fit his eye. It doesn't fit his game, the way that the bunkers were there. And you saw it with only 4 fairways hit. This is a golf course that is highly penalizing if you miss the fairway. It's one of the most on the PGA Tour if you don't hit the fairway. And I think that would surprise a lot of people, considering it's generally regarded as somewhat of a resort course here in Scottsdale. And you just can't play golf like that here.
You've run numbers, as you do just about as well as anybody in the sport. You've run some numbers recently on Rory, forgetting today's round. What do they tell you about where he's headed and what we may see here in 2023?
The biggest thing is that the longevity of his career, you can actually point to the fact that not only has he kept up with how this game has changed over the last 10 years, which you can see players gaining 10 yards off the tee, getting better in greens and regulation, getting better scrambling, getting better sand saves. Not only has he kept up, he's actually improved his position over the average PGA Tour player over the course of his career. And in the last 18 months specifically, or 12 months specifically, he certainly played some of the best golf of his career and has tightened up some of the weaknesses in his game. The highs of the highs are not much better, but the lows are certainly at a higher level. And
he referenced that this ability, as was the case in Dubai a couple of weeks ago, to win, and you think about Tiger, but to win when he doesn't quite have his best stuff.
Which speaks to where he can go. It speaks to the height of what his game can produce. The difference today was this golf course can jump out and bite you. And by that, I mean, there's literally jumping cholla out here. You got to pay attention to these cactus, but it got the best of him in that regard today.
Paige, when we think about this golf course, everybody immediately talks about the hole right behind us, the famous 16th, but there's so much more to it. Do you think in that respect it's underappreciated for how challenging it can be?
Certainly, and the way that the winds were today, it becomes a lot more difficult because not only is the wind controlling the ball once it's in the air, this is a firm and fast golf course. So it's very easy to lose control of your golf ball, not only in the air, but once it hits the ground.
We know how passionate the Canadian golf fans are, right? We hear it on social media. I mean, they watch, they love the game. So no doubt right about now, if anybody from Canada is watching, they go, hey, what about our 2 guys on top of the leaderboard? We haven't forgotten you. Here they are. The men from up north, and they're up on top of the leaderboard.
You play here quite a bit?
Yeah, I do. I
I practice here, I would say mostly. I'll buzz out for 9.
So you've pretty much seen every kind of wind condition in that and probably weren't really surprised.
You know what, it's usually out of the south. I don't see a whole lot of northeast winds here. So I've seen it, but it's still not as common. So yeah, it's definitely the tougher of the winds, I feel like, especially coming down the stretch. All those holes are playing a lot longer than typical. So yeah, I've seen a lot of wind conditions, but this is definitely one of the toughest stretches I've played out here.
Being on top of the leaderboard with another Canadian, I mean, what does that mean for your country right now?
Yeah, I mean, Canadian golf's been in a great place for a while now. Rory McIlroy kind of leading the way. We've had Adam Svensson winning this year as well, along with McKenzie. So it's a great group to be a part of. I'm really disappointed I didn't get to 6 under because I saw Nick up there and I wanted to hold it over him tonight. But it's fun. It's a great group to be a part of, and we share a lot of laughs together. So.
By the way, the President's Cup is going to Canada in 2024 with their all-time greatest player, Mike Weir, as the captain. This is an important week, I think, for both players. They've won previously on the PGA Tour, but it's been a few years and both have sort of backed off from where I think they'd like to be.
It certainly has. A great start for both of them. When you look at what Nick Taylor did, it was really just about his back 9. He had a tremendous 6 birdies on his final 9 holes, incoming 9. And for Adam Hadwin, it was a pretty darn clean day. The only bogey that he had was the 11th, which, again, has played so challenging for the players year after year. So a lot of positives to take away. But, Rich, as you know, this field is what the storyline was coming in. Yes, it's about the 16th hole, but it's about the fact that the best players in the world are here. This is a tough task for anybody to get through the hurdles and the crowds and all the distractions that go with trying to win this golf tournament. You add in the fact that you're competing against the very, very best. It's going to be difficult to finish this golf course for anybody, let alone players. It's been a while since they reached the winner's circle.
What we saw here at 16 today showed us how difficult the winds were.
Certainly. And one of the things with this grandstands, we see the grandstands on the 16th, but they're present throughout, especially the back 9, and they can block the wind. And I think a lot of players were fooled by exactly that. You sit down a little bit, you're not able to feel what's going on up in the air, and you have to trust that when you hit it, that wind's going to take it. And it just makes this golf course that much more difficult.
How about what's going on in this town? Your town. You live here. I mean, Super Bowl 57 is here. Eagles and the Chiefs. So a lot of green and red jerseys in the grandstands today. And then you've got the WM Phoenix Open, which is by far the biggest spectator event in the world of golf. They don't release the exact numbers, but we think it's north of 500,000 people for the week, which is absurd when you think that most tournaments, I guess, would be happy with 100, 125 for the week?
It's not only the biggest golf event. When you live here, it feels as though it's the biggest sporting event a year. Obviously, with the Super Bowl in town, that maybe takes the cake this season or this year. But there's never anything that you look at, you're like, I have nothing to do on this weekend.
Is this all anybody talks about in the days leading up? Are you going out? When are you going? I mean, does it just kind of consume the town?
Yeah. Who are you getting tickets to? What suite are you visiting? And what are you wearing?
Yeah. I'm going to say a lot of business gets done out here, but I'm not sure that is exactly the case. And you give a lot of credit to the Thunderbirds, the great civic organization that is behind this and donates a lot of the proceeds to local charities here in the Valley of the Sun. It is the one and only WM Phoenix Open.